Georgia State, and there's a lot to be proud of becoming a new Panther here at Georgia State. We have a lot to be proud of. Georgia State University is one of the
top institutions in the state of Georgia and one of the top institutions in the country. When you're looking at a large urban research institution,
you can't do better than Georgia State. And a Georgia State University degree is only getting better year after year.
And your time here is going to be one of enjoyment and learning.
And a great educational experience. And once you get a degree here, whether it is 2 years, 3 years, your transfer students, hopefully not much over 4 years, from now, this degree will only pay off in the future as Georgia State continues to excel in its reputation across the state of Georgia and across this great country that we live in. So you've made a truly, truly smart move in continuing your education here at Georgia State University. We like a little friendly, we're our colleagues down the street that have some colors like gold or yellow. I don't know what those colors are all about. And less reputable institutions about 30, 40 miles away that has that red and black. They call it a bulldog, a little puppy, something like that. Those are some other options, but hey, you truly made the smart option in attending Georgia State and today and becoming a smart Panther.
This first series of clips takes place about a week ago. My sister came to Atlanta, and we went to this thing called Incept because she's going to start going to Georgia State. And so this is sort of the inception ceremony for people who are starting at Georgia State, and you sort of get a walk around the campus and you get a bunch of information about what's this and what's that and everything. And so I recorded what I could of the day, hoping for something interesting. And I have to say, none of it is profoundly interesting, but it was still, I was able to capture part of the day, and it was a good day with her. And so just for the raw want to preserve what did happen, I'm going to include it in this episode just as sort of a bookmark in history, just to remember it. Unfortunately, she and I had a really, really good conversation, Lauren and I. The night before, when she was spending the night, we walked to Trader Joe's before they closed, and we just had this really long talk, and I didn't bring my recorder for that, and so thus is the nature and the burden of being someone who likes to record, good clips of audio. Sometimes you can, and sometimes you can't, and there will be another time, I'm sure, when she and I have a good talk, and I'm able to actually capture it. So I guess for posterity's sake, for the pure historical bookmark effect, the clips that follow are from Incept. Are you excited to go to Georgia State?
Yeah.
What excites you about it?
Not being in Kennesaw.
So just purely the city?
Yeah.
Yeah, the city's awesome.
And feeling progressive too in what I'm doing. Not that I'm just trying to get good grades on general education classes.
Is that basically all that you had taken up until this point?
Yeah,
just
that's all
general?
I've taken. I got all of this out of the way.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So are you technically a sophomore?
I would say so. I think still right now I'm technically a junior. But
Like starting your junior year?
yeah. But I'm not going to. I'm going to be in school like you, probably an extra year.
Yeah.
Maybe an extra semester.
So the most important thing for you today while you're here is just to make sure all your classes and everything are set up? Cool.
International and stuff.
And
Don't
I
have at
use
least
my notes
8, 9
on my phone to write down the classes too.
Why didn't you just write it on paper?
Because my phone is more convenient at the time.
You can do that. Even better. I had astronomy in this building. Actually, we're going into the exact same room that I had astronomy in. It was a very difficult class.
Your 200-seater class.
Yeah. Every single test, everyone failed. We had a curve of 20 points for every test, including the final. Yeah. There was this one guy, like from Hungary or something, some Eastern European country, and he was one of the maybe 3 people who passed the tests. And he just said that he would like make note cards of every single term and memorize them all. It was amazing.
Morning.
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 This clip takes place at Seven Onda after Incept. Lauren and I went over there sort of to treat ourselves after being at Georgia State for several hours, and didn't really, again, nothing particularly special about this conversation, but just another bookmark, a footnote, a preservation symbol for history's sake. Lauren and I together on a Thursday, I guess a week ago yesterday. Today is May 25th, I believe, and so this would have been about a week ago. And enjoy. And this will be the last clip from this series for this episode. And the clips that follow will be another classic monologue clip featuring myself only. And then the episode will finish with 2 clips, a couple clips from a conversation Josh and I had this morning. And that will wrap it up. I think you have the drive and the desire to do what you want to do at the state.
I think so too. It just shocks me how much, or how down people talk it.
Totally. Me too. Not the best environment.
But it kind of encourages me though. At the same time, I talked to Lynette about it because she was telling me about how she always gets put down in landscape architecture.
Really?
Did I tell you about her situation? With
No.
her.
Very vague.
Well, I might have because I told Caitlin.
Her situation.
Well, apparently in one of her landscape classes, she's basically getting she's failing the class. She's gonna be failed,
Really?
probably. But she just recently went to like a court date because the guy who's failing her is basically racist.
Really?
Yeah. Essentially, she noticed that he was always giving her the cold shoulder a lot. Like, she would ask him questions and he'd be very short with her. I mean, she asked him why he was. And he said, I haven't seen you come into class once except for taking the tests. And Lynette goes to the class. She went to the class every day.
Really?
And she was like... And he told her to her face that she wasn't going to make it in this industry because she wasn't the same as everybody else. And he wasn't being very forward that it was a racial comment that he made,
Yeah.
but he was basically being racist. And but when she went to file the complaint, she wasn't going to do it she wasn't going to basically pull the race card. She was just going to tell them what he said to her verbatim. And also he told her that she could give him, I guess, a layout of a subdivision or something by the next day or within the next 48 hours or something like that. And she pulled 2 all-nighters.
Really?
Got it done and went to turn it into him. And he said he wasn't going to look at it. Or some bullshit like that. I don't know. It was just...
So she went to court?
She went to like the court for the department
School?
or something, somewhere in the school, yeah. Like because there was another guy who was filing a case against him also for a different reason.
Huh.
So, or maybe it was a girl, I can't really remember.
This is at UGA. I'm surprised.
Yeah. So, but we were just talking about, she's always been given crap though for her performance overall. Like
Really?
one of her algebra, or maybe it was a trigonometry teacher. No, because that was Miss Wickham. Yeah. But she told her that she was never going to make it into UGA.
Verbatim?
Yeah, she said you can't get into UGA.
Huh.
Carmela also said she wasn't smart enough or something like that. But that's something. But in relation to me, we were both just talking about how it makes you just kind of push yourself more,
Yeah.
which is a pretty classic story about anybody who
Overcomes
Yeah.
adversity. How's the peanut butter?
That's good. I'm definitely not going to eat it all. I might try it on a date.
Those days look good. So what do you think of this place? What do you think of Seven Onda?
Overwhelming.
In what way?
In an awesome way. Just like I would like to spend more time looking at everything, especially the dispensaries, or how do you say it?
Dispensers?
I thought it was. Oh yeah. I just think it's so cool that everything's vegan.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Vegan or vegetarian. But there's not a single bit of meat in the entire store.
Oh, that's right, because they do have milk products.
Yeah. I think they have eggs as well. Perhaps.
It's okay. I'm basically vegetarian.
Ovo-lacta.
I wonder if it has anything
Wow.
else in it. Does it taste like it has anything else in it?
They're obligated by law to say if it does.
You're not supposed to shake this, are you?
No. It'll explode. It's good. Good kombucha.
I like the one I had the last time I got one, which was the citrus one.
Oh yeah. Orange?
That was my favorite, yeah.
I've seen that one before. Never had it.
I love coconut. That's crazy.
It's really good.
Does it have a seed inside of it?
Nope. It's like blended dates. Are you done with the peanut butter already? Wow. So what are you gonna do for the rest of the day?
I don't know, I haven't thought about it.
Are you going back to Wolverine soon?
Not necessarily. I mean, depends on if you want to do anything. Like if you're planning on doing anything.
Mostly just solo stuff. Bike ride, push-up, sit-ups, Dragon Ball Z. I need to send Mom an email so I can print out those things tomorrow for my court date. schedule at Whole Foods too. Yeah, I think it's Jim. Whole Foods schedule.
Now it's only 2 o'clock.
You've almost been up for 12 hours already. It's been a long time now since I've made a monologue-style clip from Molt, and what better time to restart the old engines than May 20th, 11:55 p.m., as I feel like I've got a mind full of things that need to just kind of get out. So I've stepped outside so that I don't disturb anyone, and also so I can have some privacy. And I'm looking at my plants. They look good. My morning glories are about to have their first flower sprout, and only just today the flower that is developing has gone from a green shade to a more fleshy white with purple tones color, which I think is a very good indication that very, very soon I'll have a flower out here, which is great. I like the symbology both of real and literal growth, but also the growth that it represents, that I've been able to cultivate these flowers and these plants. And I've been eating some of the basil that I've been growing. The zinnias haven't started to bloom at all yet, but I'm guessing they'll get much taller before they start to do that. They're at their tallest right now, I think about 8 inches, and so we'll just have to wait and see. A lot of the Molt clips recently have been featuring Josh and myself, and I feel like those have been better representative of what's been going on, because although I've certainly been doing a lot in the time between all the singular Molt clips that I used to make, a lot of my days revolve around work, and that's really become quite a preoccupation for me, one that I don't necessarily enjoy. And, I've been trying to experiment to see what it's like to live on my own means, by my own means, making my own money and everything. But one thing that it's taught me, and something that I've been kind of researching, studying people famous throughout history, is, if you don't have to work and you want to explore a skill, I think it's probably better time spent. And so recently I talked to my parents, sent them an email, a long email that I haven't gotten a response yet back from, about the possibility of me stopping working and spending my weeks basically volunteering at Truly Living Well, which is something I'd like to do, which is a farm in Atlanta, so I could learn how to farm, which would be a good asset to have on my Peace Corps application. Good experience, something that Lindsay has talked about several times, me doing, and I think it's a good idea. And then also teaching the refugees out in Clarkston. The 2 people who I'll be teaching are named Elizabeth and Ba, and they're from Burma. And so my week would basically be a lot more loose, maybe 4 days, if I spent 3 days at Truly Living Well, and then 1 day spent at the refugee center. And otherwise, outside of that, I'd be spending my time however I wanted, and I'd really enjoy that. I'd really like to do that. And I've been looking at my bank account and everything, and today I realized, looking at my balance, that since I got paid last week, I've only spent maybe, $80. I have $500 in my bank account, and I only spend about $100 a week, and that's all on food. And then I have to spend about $300 when bills come around. So, I don't know. I'm living well below my means, and I'm working way too much. I guess I could change my availability at Whole Foods and just say that I'm only available to work like 2 days a week, but I'd rather just not even have to do that, because those 8-hour shifts are such a killer. And I really enjoyed my time there. I really enjoyed meeting new people, talking to them, getting over the weird awkwardness of looking a stranger straight in the eye and asking them a question about, their ethnicity, what languages they speak, or what religion they practice, depending on whatever strikes me. I'd really just like to move past that. I don't don't really see much more growth that could come out of that. And so if I have the time, which I do, it's summer now, and I have the means, I do, two parents who can afford to kind of support me again after this little experimentation period. That's what I want to do. And it's a selfish desire, but, you know, I just feel like it's the right thing to do if I can get their blessings behind it. And so that's one thing that's on my mind, really wanting to do that. But I have yet to really explore whether or not that's a possibility, mainly just because my parents haven't responded. Today was a good day at work, a particularly good day. It was a long shift, but I was able to learn a little bit of Ethiopian, which is interesting. It's an interesting language, very different from Japanese, very different from English, more similar to like one of the Romance languages. It differentiates between genders, so all of the nouns, well, not all the nouns actually, but if you say hello to a man, it's different than how you say hello to a woman, and stuff like that. And so I killed a little bit of time trying to learn Ethiopian, and it was a playful day overall. Good Lord. And I guess the thing that's occupying my mind most, well, actually, before I get to that, tomorrow, Monday, May 21st, is my court date, and I'm a little bit nervous about that. I'll be very relieved to get it over with, and if worse comes to worse, I'll be able to pay off the entirety of the debt with the money that it's in my account. So regardless, no matter what happens tomorrow, whether I get the charges thrown out or if I have to pay everything or if they're reduced or whatever, I'll be able to cover it no matter what. So the issue will be closed tomorrow and I'll be able to move on. And to be honest, since I've gotten those tickets, I have been a much more cautious bicyclist. And, you know, that was about a month ago. It was April 16th that it happened. Today's May 20th, so a month and 4 days. And I have to say it was a very effective punishment just to get the tickets. You know, I haven't even been to court yet. And it's hard to say whether or not, if I had been given warnings when I originally confronted the officer confronted me, I don't know if it would have been so effective, but I've been very cognizant of red lights and obeying traffic laws and everything. And also, I don't really want to die. And I know that every time I run a light, there is the chance that I'm not timing everything completely right. Because, you know, I can do everything I can to ensure my own safety as much as I can inside of, you know, watching out for myself. But if someone else decides to run a light, or if someone is going extremely fast, then I might have estimated the situation incorrectly, and that could kill me. And since I'm never really biking anywhere in particular, and I've come to enjoy biking for long, extended periods without having to worry about traffic lights, and so I've gone further and further outside of the city in all directions, my whole attitude about traffic lights have kind of changed. You know, I still run stop signs, and I occasionally run red lights, but it's definitely, you know, it's decreased by 66% or so. 2/3, I think I'd probably do less. And so that is that, and I'm not really looking forward to it. It's not the best way to spend a day off, not the best thing to have looming in the near future, but I am somewhat, I do take solace in the fact that it will be finished tomorrow. Aside from that, this past Saturday, I participated in a cleanup on Boulevard, which I really, really enjoyed. It was exactly what I wanted to do. I'd heard about it actually through a customer at Whole Foods. A man came through and he was wearing a shirt that said, "Yo, Boulevard." And I was just like, is that the same Boulevard that's like in Atlanta, or is that just a generic thing? And he explained to me that it was this thing called the Year of Boulevard, and it was a TEDx supported project, and they were cleaning up Boulevard, and immediately I knew what section of Boulevard he had to be talking about, and he told me that they were having a cleaning that week, which was 2 days ago now. And so I did a little bit of shifting around my schedules at Whole Foods with a few other people, and I was able to get off the morning of Saturday, which my shift at Whole Foods was supposed to start at 9 a.m., which is exactly when the when the cleanup on Boulevard was supposed to start. So I was very happy to arrange everything to where I got to go to that. And so I woke up Saturday morning at about 7:15, did push-ups till about 8:15, ate breakfast, and headed out around 8:45. Got there. I was very early getting there, and they didn't start till about 9:25. And they had a really nice convocation at the beginning, and Councilman Kwanzaa Hall spoke, and that's when I first really considered working at Truly Living Well, because they presented the two people who represent Truly Living Well with a $20,000 check. And later that day, that same day, after I had to go to work, after cleaning up Boulevard, I actually happened to run into the man who is in charge of Truly Living Well, and I talked to him about volunteering, and he gave me his business card. And anyway, that's 6 degrees of separation that seemed to be pointing towards a certain direction. And so I was part of that. And after the convocation in the morning, we headed out, and me and this group of people started to clear away all this debris that was next to this house that had been sort of condemned, that was next to an apartment complex. And we heard some pretty staggering figures about the people who live in the apartment complexes on the strip of Boulevard that we were helping clean. I think one of them was that 60% of the residents who live on this strip of Boulevard, and I think there's about 3,000 in all, are under the age of 25. And I think, 3 out of every 12 have a man as the head of household. There's some very shocking statistics, this weird strip of Boulevard sort of in the center of Atlanta that's so just, devoid of prosperity in almost every single way. And so it felt really good to help with that. Me, myself, I really wanted to get a physical, I really wanted to contribute to the whole project physically. I wanted to be exhausted. And so they gave us these tools to weed whack and to pick up garbage with. And I was with this group led by someone named Princess Wilson or something. And I picked up a weed whacker, this old school, non-mechanical, just very manual weed whacker that you basically just had to whack back and forth. And it was just these metal teeth that would cut the grass. And I just went at all of this grass, and, I had to cut down limbs with this thing, and it was crazy. It was so much fun. I loved it. And my hands tell a story of just how much work I did. Even now they're still a little bit sore, and I have blisters all over them, and it's great. I wanted my hands to just be covered in blood at the end of it, but unfortunately I didn't get to work that long. But it was good, and I really felt cathartic doing it. It was just there's no better way to give back than shedding sweat, and blood. And I stepped in human feces that someone had left over by one of the areas that we were cleaning out. And everyone was a little bit too prim and proper. I'd say 75% of the people out there were afraid to really get up in it. And I was totally all about getting in it. I took off my shirt, and I didn't have any gloves on. I didn't care if I got poison ivy or anything. I just wanted the entire complete experience. It was like a preface to the Peace Corps or something. And I really dove into it. And I worked from 9 to 12:30. Had to come home around that time after everything was over so that I could go to work at 2:30. I had to go to work from 2:30 to 10:30. It was a long-ass goddamn shift. Not a bad shift. I've never had a bad shift at Whole Foods, but it's just always I'd prefer to be doing something else. And I just don't even think the money's just not worth it. But I did that. And came home later that night and just relaxed, ate food, took a shower, watched Dragon Ball Z, went to bed. And today, it's been a pretty good day. Again, today's the 20th of May. It's probably about 12:10 now or so. And after I got off work, I came home and did push-ups for an hour. I've increased my number to 25 now, so it's 25 push-ups every 5 minutes for an hour. And if I don't bike that day, I'll do it for 2 hours. And if I do bike, then I only need to do it for an hour, only an hour commitment. And I got an email tonight, and this is really what has inspired this Smolt clip to be recorded. I got an email from Brittany, and she and I have been talking kind of sporadically now for a couple days and stuff. She talked to me again not too long ago about giving back some stuff to her, or getting back stuff from her, some family kind of heirloom type things that I had given her, mostly my grandpa Iggy's on my mom's side. Her dad's, my grandpa Iggy's banjo. And I didn't really know why she wanted these things back. I mean, for us, when it comes to material things, she's definitely much more sentimental than I am. And I understood that aspect of it, but I wondered if she was like so locked into her own view of sentimentality that she wasn't even able to process that I didn't really care about these things as much and saw them, no matter where their, I guess, ultimate placement would be, as the right place for them to be. So anyway, after a few emails back and forth, I decided that she had a good point, and that these objects were physically painful to her enough that I should take them back, if only to alleviate her pain, which doesn't need to happen in my view. And so in order to exercise my view that her pain shouldn't be felt, the best thing I can do to alleviate it is to accept the items back. And so I told her that I didn't really know when I'd be able to pick up these things, especially because I'd have to bike over and then bike back with all these things with me, especially banjo. It's not difficult, but it's not really something I wanted to do if I had free time, time off work. And so I told her she could leave them with Josh, because she had said that if she needed to leave them with someone, just tell her who to do it to. And Josh is obviously the best, most trusted person for that for me. And told her to do that, and she just emailed me back again tonight after me telling her to give everything to Josh, and said that that was fine and she would do that. But she said that she still wanted to meet with me, and she's been wanting to meet with me now for, I guess, a few months. She hasn't really been persistent about it. Her understood, I guess, her understood thinking that I don't want to meet, which isn't incorrect. I don't really want to meet. But at the same time, I don't feel like it's like a point that I'm trying to make. I'm trying to move on and just not consider it. You know, there's a difference between considering something, not considering something, and then having to fight considering something. And, you know, if you don't consider something, it's the ultimate. Like in The Fountainhead, when Howard Rourke, is that his name? Howard Rourke? Yeah, I think so. Ellsworth Toohey, he's the book is a very complicated book, and it'd be pointless to try to explain the true profundity of this event that happens in the book. But basically, Ellsworth Toohey asks Howard Rourke, he says, "What do you think of me?" And Howard Rourke says, "I don't." And that's like one of the most moving moments of the book. And when I read that, I just really understood what Ayn Rand was trying to communicate with that simple, you know, those simple two words, "I don't." It's like, it's not even below consideration, because to be below consideration would almost be to hold a negative feeling towards something, but to be completely neutral and to be just a blank tabula rasa, you know, just nothing. That's the ultimate state of inconsideration. And so my relationship with Brittany, I've just tried to get to the point where it's not a consideration, you know. I don't go through my day trying to think about why we broke up or where she is now or who she's with now, and, you know, all these painful type of images, thinking about memories. You know, I don't want to have that be a hindrance in my daily life. And so that's been the main reason why I haven't wanted to meet, because it seems like it'll just rehash all the things that I feel like I've neatly placed away for safekeeping or whatever it may be. And I don't really know what she's going to say. And I don't know if she's going to be emotional, and I don't know if I'm going to have to, like, get up to leave, if I'm going to feel comfortable. I thought I saw her at Whole Foods the other day, and I felt like I almost had a heart attack when I did, because I just felt like I would be so stuck if she came through my line and like tried to have our first meeting be while I was there, which I didn't think she would. I don't think she's like an irrational person like that, but I thought I saw her in that environment, and if I'm at the cashier, there's nowhere for me to go. If it's an unpleasant experience, I can't like leave. I'm a stationary object in that situation. I have to just stay there, and then it would just shake me and rattle me, and I guess that's what I'm afraid of. I don't know. There's nothing that she could say to me that would change anything, and it's not even like there's nothing. It goes beyond merely her like apologizing to me or not. Like there's nothing that can be said to repair what was broken, because not only was it broken, but it no longer exists. It's just it's so gone, and just not forgotten about, but just moved past for me. And I have this new trajectory in my life for the Peace Corps, and I started filling out the application and everything, and I'm doing all these things now in my daily life to really try to launch myself towards realizing this goal. And I don't want a relationship with her. I don't want a relationship with anyone. I don't want to have any sort of ties that will hold me back from experiencing this chapter of my life that will introduce me to new culture, new people, new ideas, new foods, just all these things that I want to experience, because life is so short. And if you don't get enough on your plate, then you really are you're going to come up short, in my opinion. Life is about experience, and I've just never really been satisfied with having an experience that is typical or the status quo or anything, especially what is typical in America. I've often, in my day-to-day life, rebelled against what seems to be the status quo here, and just the modus operandi and all. I really don't want to be a part of that, and so leaving the country is the best way to escape that, and not only to escape it, but to gain a new appreciation for all that I do have, which is something I learned in Japan, but just not to a level or to a degree that I think was as substantial as going to, say, Africa or South America or Western China, these truly impoverished countries. Japan's pretty plush. It has everything that America has, if not more. There was never a situation that I was like deprived of any sort of commodity that I have in the United States. There's just as much excess there as there is here. So I really want to feel that that sense of being deprived. Go to bed some nights hungry, and have to do whatever I need to do to stay healthy. I want to have an experience that's difficult, very difficult, more difficult than I can even want or think about or fantasize about. And I really want that. And I just know that being in a relationship is going to ultimately hold me back from realizing that goal. And so I don't know what Brittany could want to say to me, because at this point, closure has already been achieved for me. And so it must be something on her end. And I have just no idea what it could be. I'm at a complete loss. I could imagine what it would be, but it just seems so pointless if I'm right in my assumption as to what she would want to talk about. It just seems so not worth it. One of the things I've realized most working at Whole Foods and just noting couples and people who have families and all those types of things, and just reflecting on my own past and the present of family members and relationships and friends and relationships, is this: life is not solely about building intimate relationships with people. You don't have to devote your entire existence to cultivating this one special relationship. And for the time being, I really want to spread myself and not commit myself to anyone 100%, because I just don't feel like I've met anyone yet in my life who is captivating enough to satisfy every curiosity about humanity that I have. And I don't know, I guess my ultimate fear, which is not a possibility even yet, because it's so impossible, perhaps that's why I fear it, because if it were to be true, it would defy logic and therefore, have this supernatural quality of impeccable fear-creating life. But I guess if I meet Brittany, somehow we would end up getting back together. But I know that since I'm, half of the equation, that is absolutely 100% necessary to put those pieces back together. As long as I refuse, as long as I say no, then it doesn't have to happen. But at the same time, I just don't understand what she wants to say. And I don't know, it just must be an issue of closure for her, or justification, or some part of moving on perhaps is talking to me about what she's realized, or maybe she's mad at me and she wants to get out her frustrations, or maybe it could be anything. I have no idea. She called me not too long ago, a couple months, and I could tell she was mad at me for not seeing what she was saying as like a valid point. She called me and she was saying that she had talked to her mom and stuff, and she felt like the end of our relationship, I don't know, she had changed. When we decided that we should break up, she felt like she had changed how she viewed everything that she had said in those moments, and she was telling me about it, and she was telling me that she didn't feel like she had cheated on me in the relationship, and that I don't know, that was like a point that she was making, that she didn't feel like she had cheated. And I didn't think of saying this then, but upon reflecting on her saying that, I realized that I should have said, well, it's good that you've come to that realization, but, it's really more important if you're actually trying to make a legitimate point that I agree with that. It doesn't really so much matter what you think about the situation, because, at this point, I'm the one who's resisting us coming back together. And if you're not making a point that really speaks to me and thinks about this whole situation from my perspective, then what you're saying doesn't matter. It's not a point in your camp. And it was a weird sensation listening to her be upset and be angry at me for that, because it was just such an ill-formed line of reasoning for her to even expect me to come over to her side. I'm just thinking back to that, sort of speechless. There was something else I was going to say. What was it? I don't know. But I just hope that she doesn't come at me like that again. I just really felt uncomfortable with that. And depending on, the states that we both meet each other in, and it's probably going to be sometime this week, I'm thinking Wednesday, before I go and teach the refugees, which I probably should stop calling them that. To me, it feels like it's a little dehumanizing. I just don't want to be shaken and, rattled by some kind of weird, some kind of weird attitude that she brings up that brings out something weird in me. Because, I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt anybody. But I just don't even know. I don't even know how to approach the situation, because I'm not initiating it. I'm just responding to it. And so I have to kind of play on the defense and just react to whatever she throws. And that's unnerving, because part of my mental software is sort of reality. I have an artificial reality simulator in my mind, and so I just imagine situations, possibilities, things like that. And so, I can only imagine what things will be like, and my mind has a field day with that. And it won't do that for long, thank God, because one way or another, I'll know soon enough, and things will be as they will be. But until then, it's a little unnerving. And so now, what is this? A cockroach inside the house? That's no good. So now it's later, and it is a cockroach. You need to get the fuck out of here. I need to get this roach out of my house and take a shower. So I'm gonna leave it here for now, and I'll talk to you again later. Bye. These last few clips are taken from this morning. Josh and I met at park grounds, and this is a pretty weird slathering of the things that we talked about. We were there for a long time today. I don't think Josh was in a rush to go anywhere in particular, and I wasn't really either. I have to work today at 3:30, and it's only 2 right now. So we really took our time, and we talked about a lot, and I'm not sure how coherent these few clips are, but definitely a little bit of an expose as to what was discussed and the overall feel of the afternoon. Well, early morning, really. It was a good meeting, a good session, a good Bible study for the two of us.
It is like Man Escape. It's like Pussy Square, like adult Man Escape. It's like everybody loves Raymond Escape. You can just see all those people there.
Yeah. The first time I went up to Chastain, I was thinking about what you had said about golf being that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And like how you actually ended, because I probably would go by a golf course and just feel like resent for those people.
Yeah.
But knowing that you had done it and said that it actually was substantial.
Yeah, it was very, very cool, man. It was a lot of fun. So, whoa, Jesus. Almost took that dog looks so much like Maine to me.
Yeah, it does. A little bit bigger though, right?
Yeah, it's just like got a different face, and the ears aren't as pointy.
I wonder if there could be Ken. That would be bizarre. Very similar. Man, even the same tail.
Yeah. From the back, they look identical.
Yeah.
Except for that one's lighter.
What a snarl.
I think his lip is like the
Oh, really?
yeah.
Dude, Mame is definitely about to pass away.
Dang, man.
It's crazy. She's going to end up passing away probably the weekend before the beach.
Really?
Yeah, like she's probably going to pass away sometime this...
Is she going to come to the beach?
I don't think so.
That would be kind of seems like a stupid thing to do.
Yeah, it would be a hassle. I don't know if she would survive the trip, to be honest.
Yeah, that's like moving her would be bad. So.
My parents left for Tallahassee yesterday.
Yeah.
Earlier than they headed.
Is the rest of your family down there too?
Yeah. Cynthia's been really good to Mame.
Yeah.
She's been
down there a lot.
Yeah. She's been down there for months. Literally months.
Really?
Yeah. Since
cool.
she first went into the hospital, Mame, to hear that she had cancer.
Really?
Yeah, Cynthia's been down there.
That's cool. It's good to know. Mm-hmm. Somebody cares.
Yeah, she's done a lot too. It's very interesting. My aunt was asking me for DMT not too long ago.
Your aunt, man, that's a new age. That's a new ager.
She's interesting. I wish that Mame could have had some psilocybin treatment before she passed away, just to really be okay with like everything. I think that would have helped a lot.
I think that would have rocked an old lady's world.
It would have, but I saw this. If it was given to her by a doctor who said this is a medicine that will help you accept what is happening to you, I think that alone would be the necessary mindset that she would need for it to be an okay experience.
And I wish that I could like participate in that experiment.
They do it.
I just can't be fooled now. I mean, I wish I could erase the knowledge and be treated as such. Because I feel like, yeah.
I think if you got into the right setting, if you were in a doctor's office and there was someone who was going to attend to you for 6 hours while you were on the substance, I think that you could be lured by suggestion into that state.
Yeah.
Because like I saw this video of this Korean woman who was dying of like stage 4 colorectal cancer. And she went in for an experimental treatment to deal with the anxiety, which Mame was dealing with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And she had one session, and that was all it took for her to be completely okay with dying.
She tripped?
She tripped, yeah, definitely, for a good 4 to 6 hours.
Wow. That's crazy.
And they brought in like textured rugs to put on the wall, different music, her favorite music she could listen to. She was able to speak with her husband. Like, they did it in a very controlled setting, and it was all
awesome.
positive. Yeah.
I remember the first time I tripped, it was like there wasn't anybody there telling me what to do or what to expect.
Yeah,
I was tripping with Neil.
Neil Gordon.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever tripped. I was tripping at his house.
Weird.
But once I started coming up, like, I didn't want to be around anybody. So I just went and sat outside by myself the entire time. And just, like, I sat cross-legged and just cried for, like, 3 hours. Like, cried / laughed.
Wow.
Just by myself. And it was very much religious. Like,
Yeah.
it was like, it was no joking. I was feeling very reverent. And I wouldn't have wanted to mess that up by talking to anybody. So that's how I got, or every time I've tripped really hard, I can't talk. And it's just because I can't, there's no reason. I can't, like, I could make a noise, but there's just no point to say a word to a human being.
I bet you and I would have
bring
fun.
myself to do it, yeah.
If we did it at a good spot. I was thinking that I'd like to trip at the beach. But as it stands right now, if I go to the beach, I'd be going by myself. And I don't know if I could deal with the paranoia.
It might be cool to trip at the mountains.
It would be really cool to trip at the mountains. Start early in the day.
Yeah, I was going to say, get it so that it's like you're finishing up as the sun's setting.
And then eat a massive meal.
Yeah, oh yeah. Pass the fuck out.
Yeah, if we did that at the mountain house, we could just walk around.
Yeah, we wouldn't have to go anywhere. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. I need the isolation.
We'd already be everywhere. But that area is pretty big anyway, and there's horses and cows, and
Yeah.
there is a lot to see if we wanted to.
I haven't tripped in a long time.
I've never really successfully tripped.
Yeah, I don't know how down I am to do it again.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No rush. I ain't trying to gas you like Severance.
Yeah, I wonder how you would react to tripping hard like that.
I'm not sure.
It's fucking gnarly. So it is there's a reason they just say trip. There's nothing else I can describe it. So
I've been listening to a lot of Terrence McKenna, and he really stresses that the experience, a pivotal thing to consider if you're trying to do a trip and not just have it be a completely sensory experience that doesn't have any kind of profitability to it.
Yeah.
It depends on the intelligence that you bring to it.
yeah, I feel that. I mean, because I just remember, I remember preparing to like just see shit and have fun, but basically the second I started realizing that it's just like everything else. Like you can get something out of it if you put some work into it, and once you realize that, it's hard to ignore, hard to not try to get some profitability out of something.
Right, right.
So yeah, that's all I've done every time I trip. I just forget about the fun times. It's like I've become more focused on life issues than I could ever be when I'm not. So.
So that must be what you either subconsciously or consciously bring to it then too.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's what I consciously think about constantly. So.
It seems to be true.
Yeah,
For sure.
it's very much on my mind all the time.
Well, if we
Usually
ever...
in a negative way, though,
Yeah.
and that represents itself in the trip.
Dude.
As in self-conscious about,
Yeah.
like, not even, like, important shit. Just like am I a good person?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. Like, was this good enough? But I knew this when I did this. My intentions are not pure.
That would be fun for me to for you to trip and for me to be there, for you to bounce those ideas off of.
Yeah, dude, they just move too fast, and I don't want to bounce them off anybody because I can bounce them off myself and kind of understand that they're stupid, but not keep myself from being overwhelmed by them anyway.
Right, right.
Maybe it would help to talk. It always does. I always think it won't until I do the
Vis-a-vis, ergo.
CC.
I heard your brother got kicked out of house.
Yeah.
What happened?
I heard too. I ate with my mom on last Sunday. She had said she told him she wanted him out by like the next Thursday, and I told her that was like super not fair. That like even legally she has to give him 30 days. But I told her I fully support that idea. Just give him the proper 30 days notice so he can kind of get his shit together. He's not going to even in 30 days. Don't
Right.
give him an excuse, you know.
Right.
He's already just saying, okay, well, I'm going to fail because she only gave me this many days, and she'll let him back because she only gave him this many days. So,
He's gonna move in with your dad?
supposedly,
That's gonna be hell.
yeah. Any change will be good for him. So, even living with my dad will be better than what he's doing right now.
Oh, I believe it, but your dad is gonna tear his ass up.
Dude, my dad sucks. He's so stupid. Yeah. apparently, like, in his, like, my mom told me about this, in his, like, the rhetoric to get my brother to come live with him, he said, like, he gave this long speech. Part of his criteria is, like, I just want to get to know you. Like, come live with me so I can get to know you. Like, that can creep me the fuck out. I remember, like, he just wants you to come live at his house so you can, like, sit there and he can, like, stare at you and, like, ask you, so what's been going on? Over and over and over again. You just keep saying nothing and just watch sitcoms on TV. Yeah.
Man, is Ian in school right now?
No, he failed his classes.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. What is this thing? Is this like a bug or is this something being carried by? That's a bug.
No way.
Yeah, dude, it's been walking around. It's got little legs.
Whoa.
That is a bizarre creature.
Is it carrying something?
It looks like it has to be, but
It looks precarious.
get rid of that thing. Maybe that's your body. Ooh,
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
camouflage?
What are you?
Who are you?
Yeah, I finished the next saga last night.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Damn. So you done with Frieza? Or this Namek?
First episode of Frieza will be the next one.
Oh, okay.
that I'll watch.
I stopped watching after Frieza.
Really?
I think that's a good place to stop.
I was thinking that it seems like that's where it loses a lot of steam.
Yeah.
It just starts getting a little over the top after that.
You go into the Garlic Saga.
What is the Garlic saga?
Garlic Jr.?
I don't remember that at all.
He must have been in Dragon Ball or something, and he was sent to the Dead Zone. And then he comes back, but I'm pretty sure that everyone just kicks his ass.
Yeah.
Just
How could he be a challenge?
It's like 3 different sagas in one season, I guess.
So you stopped watching, huh?
Yeah.
So you finished Frieza?
I did. Yeah, that was a good finish, too.
You saw Goku go Super.
Mm-hmm.
Righteous.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I want to see everybody go Super Saiyan. I'm going to watch it until I see all the...
I don't remember when Gohan goes Super Saiyan. Maybe Android or something. Or that's when Vegeta goes
That's
Super
when
Saiyan.
Vegeta. Gohan
Cell.
goes Super Saiyan while he's training for Cell. It's when they're training in that room that's like a year. It's like 1 hour.
Yeah, yeah. The hyperbolic time chamber.
Technology, man.
For sure. So, have you ever seen the Majin Buu saga?
No.
That one's intense.
Yeah, that's what I've always heard. That one's crazy.
It is crazy.
I really want to watch all of it. If I can. I probably will.
Only you can make your future.
Only you can watch an episode a day for a year. God, I gotta shit. I gotta do that.
Okay.
I meant to ask you, I'm curious about your conversation with Brittany.
Oh, yeah. Well, we met for like an hour right before I left to go to the traffic court.
At your house.
We met at Inman Perk. And so that was on Monday, and then Wednesday I went back to court and just paid it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we met, and it was weird seeing her. It was kind of like, I don't know, just it was just such a weird familiarity, you know. And I haven't seen her once since we broke up. So that was the first time I've seen her in 6 months or 4 months or so.
4 months.
It's been 4 months, yeah. January, February, March, April, May. So, you know, roundabout.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Time has gone by really fast. It feels like it's been like a month.
Yeah, I know. It's almost been 6 months since I came back from
That is
Japan.
insane. That seems more believable than...
I've been out of school for a year, at Georgia State anyway. I haven't been on the campus. When it comes to be this August, that'll be 1 year since I've been in school there. And I'll start back up.
Yeah.
But it was very strange. We started just talking about, you know, small things at first, and that wasn't awkward just because I was pulling basically from my Whole Foods abilities just to talk to anyone about anything.
Talk,
Yeah, so I was just figuring out what she was doing. She's moving down here with Steven and Kayla and all, and still trying to become a gaffer and everything and move up in the industry and stuff like that. But when we started talking about us, I had a lot to say, and definitely overwhelmed her with what I said. And she got upset several times, and she had to put on like sunglasses so that she could like keep her composure and stuff and not be crying and everything. She didn't really break down or anything, but she definitely got upset with the things I was saying. And overall, what I basically said after she was saying that she wanted us to be together and that we needed to build ourselves back up during this time before we both kind of separated and went our separate ways. I just told her I want to be single for 3 years, at least.
Yeah.
And so I could finish school, go into the Peace Corps, and that'll be 3 years. And I was not so much trying to say that like in 3 years we can try again, but I was just saying I'm like not interested in being in a relationship with anyone for 3 years. And she was really, I asked her, she kept saying that she was just so sure that we were supposed to be together. And I was like, if you're so sure, why can't you have faith in that and then just wait? Like, why does that time period scare you? Because I'm telling you that you're going to have no competition for 3 years. Like, I would think, like I said, like hypothetically, if we did have 3 years apart, would you be with other people? And she was like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure she's just worried that even though you say that, you're going to do it anyway. Because she probably is, she can control herself, obviously. So
well, what she said,
everybody else is that way or something.
She said that she was worried that I would just go into myself and I would be unreachable, like in 3 years. Like I would become so internalized that she wouldn't be able to like get to me anymore.
Like, what does she think you are?
Well, I think that she's just blown it out of proportion in her head. But I told her that like I'm not the same person I was when we first met years ago, because it was hard for us to start a relationship.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't have to tell her anything, so
yeah, to
feel okay, and she kind of pulled that out of me. But I was telling her like, you know, I'm not going to turn into this weird solitary creature that doesn't communicate with anybody. And really,
I'd say you're probably the most communicative person that I know anyway. Mm-hmm. Like, if anything, you'll just become more communicative.
That's what I was kind of telling her. She was just afraid because I don't share personal things with most people, just because I don't really feel that like there's a need for most people to know what's going on with my stuff.
Yeah.
She was just worried about that, but I just kept telling her that she hadn't had enough time, because if she was sitting there listening to what I was saying and she was still getting so upset that she couldn't have a response, like I would say something for like 7 minutes and then she would just be silent and she would say, I just can't believe you're saying that, or I just can't hear, I can't even imagine that right now, or something like that. I was just realizing that, you know, she's still so caught up in the emotionality of it. There's no way she's had enough time to grow from it. And she has such a negative perspective on everything. Like, I could tell that she just, there's this thing that Deepak Chopra said that I really liked a lot. He said that the same level of consciousness that identifies a problem cannot be the same level of consciousness that answers the problem. You have to raise your consciousness. And so with Brittany, it's like our relationship ended, and she's really upset about that because she wants us to be back together. But she cannot see the solution to that because she won't raise her consciousness.
Yeah, she won't work.
No, and I don't think she will either.
No.
But I know that 3 years is the period of time that I am going to not even think about it.
Yeah.
So we parted awkwardly. She was really upset.
Yeah.
She texted me later that night wanting to go get a beer, which I thought was weird.
Just want to have sex.
Maybe.
That's what a beer means.
But I had ended up that night, I went out biking and got caught in this really bad storm.
These two bees like trying to have sex on my shirt.
So that was that. And basically there was no real progress or anything, but she kept, I don't know.
That's interesting though.
Yeah.
I would have had, I don't know why I just assumed. I don't know. I go from assuming the best and my friend's girlfriend to just assuming the worst. Because I just see her and assume she's just like doesn't give a fuck. And she's just doing whatever she wants. But it's good to know that at least she was a little bit messed up about it.
Oh yeah, she's really torn up. But I talked to that girl Lynette yesterday, my sister's friend and my friend. Lynette, yeah, she's Nigerian. You probably would know her if you saw her. Maybe.
Your sister's friend? I think I've heard you talk about her though.
Yeah, she's my sister's friend primarily, but she and I get together every once in a while, like once a year so far, and just talk. And she was saying that she had broken up with this guy, and she just felt like he needed more life experience because like the climax of his sadness in his life seemed to be her breaking up with him. And she just was like, that's just, if that's the height of your sadness, then you really need to experience more, because like there's so much more than just our relationship in the world.
Yeah.
And for me and Brittany, I feel like it's very similar. It's just like that the world is a really big place and there's a lot of stuff going on, and if this one thing is making you feel this bad, then your scope of like world experience is very narrow.
That's true.
But anyway,
I kind of feel like that's one, I don't know, this may be an unhealthy thing, but that's like one, to me, is a good perk of a relationship.
in what way?
Is that you can, wait, man, I just like forgot what we were talking about. But if I can remember, I'll remember my point.
Just about relationships and how they can be a peak of sadness.
Just like, I don't know, because I invest a lot in my relationship emotionally too.
Yeah.
I pretty much put all my cards emotionally on that.
Seems to be
Yeah.
true.
And that's just the way I like to do it, though.
Big boy.
I think this is a dog that Nikki found.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's doing good now.
A mangy canine.
I think it's time for a refill.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have a unconscious awareness that perspective is subjective.
It's like the things that I look at now and think, this is what I want. Like, this is amazing, are the things that they just did. Just developed naturally as children. Like, it's nothing special. It is harnessing your ability, nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to do it because of the situation.
That's probably the burden of being like a white male in America. It's like there's no challenge because everything's made for you anyway.
That's what I always feel like, especially talking to like Roberto and stuff, or like so I go back and forth and thinking like, man, I'm like, I don't understand. Like I have so many more like shades of, or from what it seems talking to you, so many more shades of like feeling and emotion, and just because of this English language. But I like don't deserve any of it because I haven't done anything. I feel like talking to a dude that should have it and I should have something else. It's just like not fair.
That's why I want to go to the Peace Corps. That feeling exactly. Because I feel like everything here is so easy and made for you and I have to do something.
I wish I could just give it to somebody who deserves it more than I. I don't deserve it.
You could give it to someone.
Yeah.
That Boulevard Service Project, or something like the Peace Corps, or something.
It would be cool to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And then I'd just be teaching all these fucking spoiled little brats. So,
Well, you could teach in the inner city. There's a lot of programs. That sounded stupid. There's this thing.
the motorcycle.
John Legend came and spoke at Georgia State, and there's this program that he was talking about called Teach for America.
Yeah.
And basically, you devote years of your life to teaching in the inner city. And I think you talked about wanting to do that.
Yeah. Pay for your school if you
Exactly.
do that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if I was a teacher, that's what I would do. Like, just no question about it.
Yeah. Give back, whatnot.
Yes, indeed. It's fun teaching kids, especially, like, so to get them interested. I just imagine being in math class. The class clown tries to make everybody laugh at me, tell them to shut the fuck up. And then everybody's, like, really into math. Even the class clown is, like, actually paying attention.
It's like that movie, Stand and Deliver. Have you seen that?
Is that the one with the Mexican dude?
Yeah. That's you.
That's me.
Hebendale.
These kids.
I love these kids. I want them to learn.
And they made fun of it on South Park, really funny.
Really?
Yeah, Cartman was like, this is a Mexican substitute.
I can imagine. That show has no reverence.
Yeah. It's not that good anymore.
Is it not?
I saw a newer episode and was pretty unamused. Yeah.
I bet Noah's a fan.
I saw it because he was watching them.
So you said the TV's broken or the PlayStation's broken?
The PS3 is broken.
How'd that happen?
Stopped working.
Huh.
So apparently, if they do that,
Planned obsolescence.
what a waste of money.
It's still broken?
Like a break in like 4 years. Yeah.
So that room's just vacant now,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yep. They watch DVDs in there sometimes. Came home the other night and everybody was watching Kill Bill Volume 2.
Weird. What a weird choice.
Alex rented Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Weird.
Yeah. I remember thinking the same thing. So.
What a weird choice. So he has returned from the island. Whoa.
Don't be scared, dude.
Don't be scared. This is it. Don't get scared.
This is it. Don't get scared.
It sucks that he made that nice macaroni and cheese dinner for
I
himself.
know. That's always bugged me. I'm like, why'd you do that? Because he knew what time they were coming. He like sat down to eat like 1 second before they said they'd be there. And he like lit the candles too.
Yeah.
Hello. Kids are scared of the dark.
Yeah.
They're scared of the dark, Mom.
Do you know what kind of a dog this is?
Yeah, it's like some
Mix.
mix of like boxer, American pit bull, something all American.
Grand Slam.
Grand Slam.
It's like the American breakfast. Extra bacon.
Yeah, we've all been to Denny's, dude. How you doing, man?
I'm all right.
You're in Greece, right?
Yeah, I just got back last night.
How was it?
It's all right.
All right.
I like it.
That's all you can ask for.
Pretty comfortable in that culture.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you speak Greek? That's awesome.
I've an apartment. I cleaned it up. I'm gonna try and rent it out, but I don't think I'll get it. But I've got an apartment that my mom left me, so I go and.
Make sure everything's working and all.
Well, yeah, and I went and hung out, did a little bit of business, and then went to Rhodes with my girl for 4 or 5 days. And then-
Right on.
But just generally, like the food and the culture, I'm like, I don't miss. I miss
America.
like him, my girl, and my dog.
There you go.
And that was it.
Your only American anchors.
And he's only on the list because he's standing here.
He's a traveler. He's done his Paul Mark Twain proud.
Classic Greek. I don't know what exactly to say about it, but I can always spot a Greek. Tasso, the guy on the Majestic. I bet they're friends. But maybe not friends, but I know they know each other. Greeks know each other.
You can smell the baklava.
You can, dude. You can just smell the tzatziki sauce.
Have you seen that movie Man on Wire? Yeah, that's right. I saw it at your house actually. Now that I think
It's
about
a good
it.
movie.
Man. That guy, Philippe Petit, he just did a TED Talk recently.
Oh, really?
It's a great talk.
You know, I've never seen a TED Talk. I've been meaning to get on there and start watching them because
Man.
so many awesome people do TED Talks.
So many awesome
I need to watch that real bad.
Yeah, you really should.
Nardwuar.
Oh yeah,
TED
Nardwuar's
Talk.
pretty good.
He just talks about interviewing, right?
Yeah, well, basically he talks about how doing it yourself can actually make you can get what you want if you do it yourself, if you really commit to it.
Yeah.
He talks about like his first interview he ever got because he just tried. He said that he had the idea and he was like, well, there's no harm in not trying, and then that spinned off his career.
Huh.
And now that's what he does.
What are some of the best TED Talks that you've seen?
I'd say Philippe Petit's was really, really good. It was very well done and it was very artistic. That was one of the best I've seen.
It's like, if there was like, he's like the most artistic person
He really
I've
is.
ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, he just like,
He breathes it.
screams art. And
really
like,
does.
not, it's like, and not in a lame way.
No, very respectable.
It's so cool. He is awesome. That movie is so good.
Yeah.
They're like all so emotional talking about that shit.
Yeah, that guy keeps crying with the
Yeah.
gray hair every time they
It
talk
like
about
gives
it.
you serious goosebumps.
Yeah, it
watching
does.
that. It's so gnarly.
There's this guy named Stefan Sagmeister, and he's a industrial designer, and he has this talk called The Power of Time Off. That's a really good one. There's another one called The Paradox of Choice, which is a really good one because it talks about how everyone is no one feels like they can make a right choice anymore because there's just too much choice.
Yeah.
And this guy gives the metaphor, or the actual, like the anecdote of him going to buy a pair of jeans, and years ago, before things got so complicated with choice, he would go to the store and he would buy a pair of jeans because there was only one style, there was only one pair, and he loved those jeans. But then he went to the store after those jeans faded and broke to get a new pair, and there was like 20 different selections, and he left feeling like he had made the wrong choice because there was just too much choice. And how choice, even though it seems like it's a freeing thing to have more options, it actually is crippling because then you question forever what you're doing.
Makes sense.
That's a good one.
I have to watch that, Philippe.
Yeah, that one's on the homepage right now. It's a brand new one. Man, there's just so many good ones. Really, there's seldomly a bad one.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're boring, depending on the topic. But there's this guy named Aubrey de Grey who he's trying to end aging. He's a really interesting dude. Really long beard, really long hair. He talks a mile a minute, and he's kind of an asshole.
I like that.
And I think his talk is like, "Can we end aging?" or something. But basically, we're going to talk to you today about aging and what we come to find is the problem with aging. And I've got a 5-point plan how I think we could address this issue. It's very weird.
What a weird fuck. It ain't gonna work. I mean, people still gonna get old.
He's got a good plan. He says the metabolism is the reason why people age.
Really?
Yeah, all of the junk that is created in your cells after years of metabolizing, it collects and becomes things like Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, all these different afflictions that people end up eventually dying from. And they basically would do gene restorative therapy, and they'd go through and they just kind of like how you defrag your hard drive, you kind of defrag your genes.
Interesting. Have they experimented on that?
I'm not sure that the technology is there yet. They're trying to really get the thing off the ground, but theoretically, it should work. If you look at the body strictly as a machine,
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. He shows pictures of like old cars from 1950 that still run, and he's like, they still run because they did things to keep them well oiled and well tuned, and you could do that with the body too. But it's all about, you have to be consistent with your tune-ups, otherwise things go awry.
Can't fall behind.
Because of entropy and shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, Josh, there's so many. There's thousands of talks.
Wow. You watch a lot.
I do.
I know that you haven't been watching Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z kind of made me have to venture back into TED just because I felt so devoid of like real thoughts. I was just thinking about Dragon Ball Z all the time. Is this a hotness?
Yeah, dude. No fucking doubt.
Did someone call you?
Oh, it was credit.
Oh yeah.
No. Bill collections. Collect these bills, bitch. Huh. Oh, I can't wait to hear those Johns.
Yeah. How do you spell Jonathan?
Just like without an H.
Oh really?
No.
Oops.
It's okay. I don't expect people to. When I'm big, I'll make it clear.
Jonathan.
Yeah. This goldenrod party.
I'm about to say this is a very popular color for the coat.
God, mate.
Puppy?
Yeah. Humane Society.
Why are we coming over here?
It's not stupid when people come here and just get struck by that. Downright retarded.
I've noticed you have a lot of personal rules for this place that I didn't see written on the front.
Yes, there's etiquette. There's an unspoken etiquette.
There's Josh a kid.
Much like weed smoking etiquette. You don't just hit the ball 3 times.
Cash it out.
Yeah. And then pass it. That shit ain't right. Yeah.